How big of a cinephile are you really? We're about to find out. I made a Jeopardy board where all of the categories and questions are about film, and it is not for the faint of heart. Keep track of your points as we go along. Add the points if you get the question right. You don't have to bother about subtracting them if you get it wrong. And comment your total down below to see how bigger of a cinephile you are than the other people in the comments. Did I make the quiz too hard, or have you just not seen enough movies? Okay, our first category today is the beauty of cinema. And if you'll notice, B is in quotations. That's because every answer in this category is going to start with B. Next category, we have Roger Ebert says. If you don't know Roger Ebert, one of the most famous film reviewers of all time, I'm going to give you a quote from one of his reviews. You have to tell me what movie he's reviewing. Did it just talk to me? This has to do with talking animals in cinema. The Marvel Cinematic Universe. And quote it. I'll give you the movie quote. You tell me what movie I'm quoting. Ooh, okay, I'm so excited. Let's just start going in order. The Beauty of Cinema for 100. Filmed over the course of 12 years, this film shows its leading characters grow old in time with their respective actors. What is Boyhood? Love Boyhood. It was my favorite movie of all time when I was 18, which is where the titular boy ends up by the end of the movie. So it was a perfect college age movie, coming of age. Haven't rewatched it since then, and I don't think I should. And quick little flex, here's my Criterion version of it. Roger Ebert says for 100, they aren't being killed after all. They're already dead. They're even a little comic, lurching about a shopping center and trying to plod up the down escalator. From 1978. We're in October after all. What is Dawn of the Dead? One of the most classic zombie movies ever made. Did it just talk to me for 100? Wes Anderson dipped his toes into stop-motion animation for the first time with this film about talking animals, starring George Clooney voicing this type of animal. What is a fox? The Fantastic Mr. Fox, an absolute classic, at least in my household. Marvel Cinematic Universe for 100. Despite being a core member of the original Avengers team, this hero never got their own movie. Who is Hawkeye? Got his own show, but that's not a movie, buddy. Quote it for 100. You did it! I knew you did it! You planted that story about the chicken! I hope my performance helped. What is The Social Network? I tested this quiz out on a coworker recently who doesn't know much about movies, and when I gave him the 100 level questions for every category, he knew he was f***ed. Did you get any of those right? The Beauty of Cinema for 200 has to start with a B. This 1958 horror flick was remade in 1988, making the titular monster bigger, pinker, and much more bloodthirsty. What is The Blob? I had to throw the Blob question in here somewhere. That's my favorite horror movie of all time. You'll notice there's a movie poster for it up there. I also have a tapestry of it in my living room. Absolute peak cheesy 80s body horror. It's only second to The Thing in my mind for best practical effects for a monster movie. When you see movies going back and parodying cheesy horror from the 80s, this is the pinnacle of what they're parodying, and it does it perfectly. Anyway, Roger Ebert says for 200, you can anticipate, step by step, during a long, hot summer day, that trash can approaching Sal's window, propelled by misunderstandings, suspicions, insecurities, stereotyping, and simple bad luck. From 1989. What is Do the Right Thing? Should have been an easy one if you've seen the movie. Absolute classic and a necessity. Top 20 first movies you should ever watch, I think. Did It Just Talk to Me for 200. The 2009 film G-Force follows a team of this type of animal working as secret agents for the US government. Please ignore my typo. What are guinea pigs? Marvel Cinematic Universe for 200. This character changed actors from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle between Iron Man and Iron Man 2. That's right, who is War Machine, or James Rhodes, or Rhodey, any of the above. Quote it for 200. They're coming to get you, Barbara. Speaking of horror classics, what is Night of the Living Dead? Happy October, y'all. I love Halloween. The Beauty of Cinema for 300. This film had a return to the public eye after its titular monster was claimed online to be an LGBTQ+ icon. This may be able to be applied to a few movies, but I'm hoping this is the most obvious of the bunch. What is the Babadook? Babadook. Roger Ebert says for 300, Rossellini goes the whole distance, but Lynch distances himself from her ordeal with his clever asides and witty little in-jokes. In a way, his behavior is more sadistic than the Hopper character. From 1986. Roger Ebert was known to frequently be in brawls with this director David Lynch. What is Blue Velvet? Did It Just Talk to Me for 300. In the movie Babe, Babe is a talking pig who befriends Ferdinand, a talking animal of this variety. What is a duck? I could not tell you one way or the other whether I have seen Babe in my lifetime or not. It certainly was not within the last 5 years, so it's out the window. Marvel Cinematic Universe for 300. This is the last MCU movie Stan Lee had a cameo appearance in, though he'd already died before its release. What is Avengers Endgame? Quote it for 300. Well, nobody's perfect. What is Some Like It Hot? Absolute classic, probably the most iconic final line of a film of all time, up there with the Chinatown final line. What is it? He's like, well, that's Chinatown, Jack Nicholson. The Beauty of Cinema for 400. This classic from Hal Ashby ends with a man walking on water. What is Being There? Either you've seen it or you haven't. What a poignant finale to that movie. Ooh, makes the whole thing cherry on top. Roger Ebert says for 400. All the details of these events are shown in the film, including the notorious scene in which Devine actually ingests that least appetizing residue of the canine. And not only do we see genitalia in this movie, they do exercises. From 1972. What is Pink Flamingos? The canine feces bit should have gotten it for you. I also have a poster of that movie on my wall, but you just can't see it. Shout out John Waters and Devine. Did It Just Talk to Me for 400. Something bad is happening in Oz, says this type of animal professor in Wicked. What is a goat? That's right, I don't just sing like that. It was a goat impression, I promise you. Marvel Cinematic Universe for 400. In Avengers Infinity War, Thanos seeks to collect 6 Infinity Stones. Space, time, reality, power, mind, and this. What is the Soul Stone? Listen, I've been to a Marvel trivia night or two in my day. I promise you, I know way too much about those movies. Quote it for 400. Anybody want a peanut? What is The Princess Bride? I'll be honest, when I made the category, that was the first question I came up with. I'm curious to know if that's a popular quote from the movie. I know there's a lot of popular quotes in it. I'm curious to know if that's as recognizable to other fans of The Princess Bride as it is for me, because in my household, that was like an inside. Me and my dad would always say, anybody want a peanut? Curious if you also quoted that part. The Beauty of Cinema for 500. This debut feature film from Peter Jackson features crude aliens, human stew, and plenty of practical gore effects. What is Bad Taste? I thought I had a Bad Taste poster up on my wall. I did at my last apartment, but it is missing now. Fantastic movie. At one point I was writing a video essay about Peter Jackson's first 3 movies he made, and I'm a big fan. I love them. You should check out Bad Taste if you're ever feeling grimy, sleazy, or in the mood to make a movie with your friends and want to see proof that you can do anything. It's kind of inspirational, low-key. Roger Ebert says for 500, I am required to award stars to movies I review. This time, I refuse to do it. No horror film I've seen inflicts more terrible things on its victims than this movie from 2009. Did you pick the right one? What is The human centipede. That was definitely a tough question. It's very vague. You could be talking about anything. You really just had to know the year there and what the most heinous horror films that Roger Ebert would have seen are. Has anybody seen Human Centipede 3? I've heard a lot of people say it's the worst movie ever made, and that's like appalling to me because I still see people praising the first two, which are some of the worst movies I've ever seen. So how much worse is that third one? Let me know. Did it just talk to me for 500? As seen in Into the Spider-Verse, this is the name of Spider-Man in an alternate universe where he's a pig. I'll let you know right now, it is not Spider-Pig. What is Peter Porker or Spider-Ham? Marvel Cinematic Universe for 500. This hero had the longest wait between their initial film and the follow-up sequel, totaling 6 years in between the two. How well do you know the MCU? What is Doctor Strange? That's right, Doctor Strange initial one came out in what, 2016? And then Multiverse of Madness came out in what, 2022? Quote it for 500. The morgue? She'll be furious! One last happy Halloween. What is Death Becomes Her? This is a personal favorite quote of mine. I say it all the time. I love this movie. I love Bruce Willis's delivery of this line. The morgue? She'll be furious! It's just so good. Okay, we have cleared the board. How many questions did you get right? How many total points do you have right now? That's important because we're about to go to Final Jeopardy. You can wager any number of the total points you've acquired thus far on Final Jeopardy. If you'd gotten every single question right, I believe you'd be at 7,500 points. However many points you wager, if you get the Final Jeopardy question right, you gain that many points. If you get the Final Jeopardy question wrong, you lose that many points. But this is all just YouTube fun, so why not go all in? Your Final Jeopardy category is Origins of Cinema. All right, place your bets. How comfortable do you feel about the origins of cinema? What could that entail? Are you willing to go all in? Are you going to play it safe? You don't want to come out at zero? Okay, finalize your bets. Here we go. One of the earliest films ever screened, the arrival of a train at La Ciotat station, was 50 seconds long and made audience members run from their seats in terror. This historic movie was created by this director duo, whom every film student learns about in Film History 101. Who are the Lumiere brothers? Did you get that question right? Of course, the Lumiere brothers. They filmed a train coming straight at this screen, and then people were so frightened they had never seen a movie before. They thought the train was really going to hit them, so supposedly they ran out of the theater in horror. It's one of those things that's so mythologized from film history, being passed along that it's probably exaggerated by now. Maybe a couple of people screamed. But either way, it is a staple, a landmark in film history. The Lumiere brothers were out there making documentaries, and now 100 years later, here we are with Avengers Endgame and shit like that. How well did you do on today's board of film trivia? Was it too hard? Was it too easy? Let me know down below. Comment what score you got. We're going to be back next week for another game of film trivia. We'll be here every week. If you don't have your film knowledge there yet, hey, maybe in a few weeks you'll have watched enough movies and it'll be your board. Thank you for taking your time in between watching movies to play a game of Jeopardy with me, and I'll see you next week.